In a quiet village nestled among rolling hills and whispering trees, lived a bright and hopeful girl named Adana. Her laughter was like the tinkling of bells, bringing joy to all who heard it. Adana was 15 years old with dreams as vast as the sky. She came from a very poor family, but her heart was rich with love and ambition. Every morning, Adana walked to the village school, her worn-out shoes kicking up dust on the narrow paths. She was determined to learn to rise above the poverty that clung to her like a shadow. Her mother, with kind eyes and calloused hands, always told her, "Adana, education is your key to a better life." One sunny afternoon, as the golden rays bathed the village in warmth, Adana met Emeka. He was 17, tall and handsome, with a smile that could light up the darkest night. Emeka too had dreams of becoming someone important, someone who could change the world. They met by the river where the water shimmered like diamonds and the air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers. "Hello, Adana," Emeka greeted, his eyes sparkling with excitement. "I've seen you in school. You're always at the top of the class." Adana blushed, her heart fluttering like a trapped butterfly. "Thank you, Emeka. You're very kind." From that day on, they became inseparable. They would meet by the river, sharing their hopes and dreams, their laughter echoing through the trees. Adana found herself falling in love with Emeka's kindness and passion. She believed that together they could conquer any obstacle. But life in the village was not always kind. One fateful day, Adana felt a strange sensation in her body. She grew worried and confided in Emeka. His face turned pale when he heard the news. "Adana, are you sure?" he asked, his voice trembling. "Yes, Emeka. I'm pregnant," she whispered, tears welling up in her eyes. Fear gripped them both like a vice. They were too young, too unprepared for this enormous responsibility. In their desperation, they made a terrible decision. They sought help from an old woman in the village who claimed she could solve their problem. But the attempt to terminate the pregnancy failed, leaving Adana weak and scared. Days turned into weeks and Emeka grew distant. He avoided Adana, his once bright eyes now clouded with worry and fear. One night he came to her with a heavy heart. "Adana, I'm leaving for Lagos," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "I need to start fresh, find a way to make a better life. I promise I'll come back for you." Adana's heart shattered into a million pieces. She watched Emeka walk away, disappearing into the darkness, leaving her to face the consequences alone. The village buzzed with whispers and judgment. Adana's dreams of education and a bright future seemed to crumble around her. Despite the shame and isolation, Adana held her head high. She gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, Chioma, whose name meant God's favor. Adana's love for her daughter was fierce and unwavering. She dropped out of school to care for Chioma, working tirelessly as a pure water seller on the streets, carrying her child on her back. Every day was a struggle, but Adana never gave up. She would look into Chioma's innocent eyes and find the strength to keep going. She dreamed of a day when Chioma would have the opportunity she had lost, when their lives would be filled with happiness and success. As the sun set behind the hills, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold, Adana whispered to her sleeping daughter, "One day, my Chioma, you will achieve great things. You will make our dreams come true." The nights were long and the days were hard, but Adana's spirit remained unbroken. Her love for Chioma became her driving force, a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. And though the road ahead was uncertain, Adana knew she would walk it with courage and determination for the sake of her beloved daughter. In the heart of the bustling village, Adana's life took a difficult turn. Once a bright student, now she walked the dusty streets with a heavy heart and a baby strapped to her back. Chioma, her little girl, was a bundle of joy, but also a constant reminder of the challenges that lay ahead. Adana dropped out of school, her dreams of education slipping away like sand through her fingers. The villagers whispered and gossiped, some showing pity while others cast judgmental glances. Despite the harsh words, Adana held her head high. She had to be strong for Chioma. Every morning before the first rooster crowed, Adana would wake up and prepare her baskets of pure water. Balancing them expertly on her head, she walked the village streets, calling out to anyone who would buy. The sun beat down on her, but her spirit remained unbroken. She needed to make enough money to feed Chioma and herself. One hot afternoon, as Adana was selling water near the market, a kind woman named Mama Nkechi stopped her. "Adana, my dear, you work so hard. How is little Chioma?" she asked, her eyes full of concern. "She's doing well, Mama Nkechi," Adana replied, managing a small smile. "We are managing." Mama Nkechi reached into her purse and handed Adana some money. "Take this, my child. It's not much, but it will help." Tears welled up in Adana's eyes. "Thank you, Mama Nkechi. This means a lot to us." As the years passed, Chioma grew into a curious and intelligent young girl. She watched her mother work tirelessly and promised herself that she would make her proud. Chioma loved school, and her teachers often praised her for her hard work and determination. One day, as Chioma sat in her classroom, her teacher, Mr. Okake, announced a big competition. "Students, we will have a spelling bee next month. The winner will receive a scholarship to one of the best schools in Lagos." Chioma's heart raced. She knew this was her chance to make a difference. She studied day and night, often staying up late into the night, reciting words by the light of a flickering candle. Adana watched her daughter with pride and hope, praying for her success. The day of the competition arrived. The school hall was packed with students, parents, and teachers. Chioma's hands were sweaty, and her heart pounded in her chest. But she reminded herself of her mother's sacrifices. She took a deep breath and stepped onto the stage. Word after word, Chioma spelled with precision and confidence. The audience watched in awe as she progressed through each round. Finally, it was down to the last word. Chioma took a deep breath, spelled the word perfectly, and the hall erupted in applause. Chioma's victory changed everything. She received the scholarship and moved to Lagos to attend the prestigious school. Adana was filled with pride and joy. Her daughter was on the path to a brighter future, and all the hardships seemed to fade away. In Lagos, Chioma excelled in her studies. She worked hard just as her mother had taught her and soon graduated at the top of her class. Companies lined up to offer her jobs, impressed by her determination and brilliance. One sunny afternoon, Chioma called her mother with exciting news. "Mama, I've been offered a job with a big company here in Lagos. They are paying me so well, and I want you to come and live with me." Adana's heart swelled with happiness. "Oh, Chioma, I'm so proud of you. I will come, my dear." Chioma's new job provided her with a beautiful apartment in Lagos. When Adana arrived, she couldn't believe her eyes. The city was vast and bustling, so different from their village. Chioma showed her around the apartment, and Adana felt a sense of peace and accomplishment. They had come so far together. One sunny afternoon, Adana decided to visit the bustling local market to buy some foodstuffs. The market was a colorful maze of stalls overflowing with fresh fruits, vegetables, spices, and all sorts of goods. As she moved through the crowd, her eyes caught sight of a familiar face. Her heart skipped a beat, and she stopped in her tracks. It was Emeka, the father of her child, now working as a bus conductor. He was older, his face lined with age and hardship, but she recognized him instantly. Adana's emotions surged within her. She felt a mix of anger, hurt, and an inexplicable need to confront the man who had abandoned her and their daughter years ago. She took a deep breath and approached him. Emeka was busy helping passengers onto the bus, shouting out destinations and collecting fares. When he saw Adana, his face paled and he nearly dropped the money he was holding. "Adana," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "Is it really you?" "Yes, Emeka, it's me," Adana replied, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "We need to talk." They found a quiet corner away from the noise of the market. Emeka looked down at his feet, unable to meet Adana's gaze. "I'm sorry," he began. "I know I hurt you. I was young and scared. I made a terrible mistake." Adana's eyes filled with tears. She had waited so long to hear those words, but now that they had come, she didn't know how to feel. "You left me to raise our daughter alone," she said, her voice breaking. "Do you know how hard it was for us? Emeka nodded, his own eyes glistening with tears. I know, Adana. I've regretted it every single day. Please, can you ever forgive me? As they talked, years of pain and misunderstanding began to unravel. Emeka told her about his struggles in Lagos, how he had tried to make a life for himself but had always felt the weight of his past decisions. Adana spoke of the hardships she faced and the joy Chioma had brought into her life. Just then, Chioma arrived at the market, looking for her mother. She saw them talking and hurried over. Mom, what's going on? She asked, looking between her mother and the stranger. Adana turned to her daughter, her eyes filled with a mixture of sorrow and hope. Chioma, this is your father. Chioma's eyes widened in shock. She had grown up hearing about her father but never imagined she would meet him. Emeka looked at his daughter, his heart swelling with pride and regret. Chioma, I've missed so much of your life. I'm so sorry. The three of them stood there, emotions swirling around them like the busy city they were in. Chioma, despite the shock, took a deep breath and stepped forward. Dad, I don't know you, but I can see you regret what happened. I think it's time we all move forward. In the days that followed, Emeka slowly became a part of their lives. It wasn't easy, and there were many difficult conversations, but bit by bit, old wounds began to heal. Emeka showed a genuine desire to make amends, and Adana, with time, found it in her heart to forgive him. Chioma, with her father's presence, felt a sense of completeness she hadn't realized she was missing. She excelled in her job, her determination and hard work paying off. She and her mother continued to build their lives, now with Emeka as a supportive figure. The journey wasn't without its bumps, but the bond between them grew stronger. They spent weekends exploring the city, sharing stories, and creating new memories. The laughter and joy that filled their home were a testament to their resilience and the power of forgiveness. In the end, Adana, Chioma, and you begin together, their lives were filled with hope and fulfillment, and they looked forward to a bright future. The story of Adana and Chioma was one of love, perseverance, and the transformative power of reconciliation. They lived happily ever after, proving that even the deepest wounds could heal with time, love, and forgiveness.